Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Fastest freaking show in MLB, absolutely anywhere with your freaking boy, yo. Big Chinese stud, man. Coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, as always. Coming at that damn chair as always. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legaza Flow, sharper than the damn razor, yo. Same handle over on Substack. Find out what all the fucking hubbub is about. Thanks for making me a bestseller over there. People understanding that time is the ultimate commodity, and for fucking $2 a week, I'm saving you a lot more than that. All right, we got a full slate today on this wonderful, wacky Wednesday. Chopped up throughout the day. I think we got 3, 3, 9, 3 at 1, 3 at 3. I think it's 2 or 3, 1 or 4, but in that middle section. And then the last at the nighttime stuff, that's what we'll focus on here today. Always keeping the commuter crowd in mind. And for my football heads, the NFL stuff is hot and heavy. Underdog and DraftKings, uploadable, color-coded fucking best ball ranks with, some stats on it, though. Those clocks are a little fast to be doing research, but I got you on that, too. Team stats, player stats, differentials, all the goodies. Plus, when the season starts, projections and optimals, as we do baseball, right through the regular season. Playoff stuff, I don't know. I mean, I don't think the modeling is the way you do it. We still do the show, but to me, it's more about not say a vibe thing. You got to kind of play it by ear. Those games are all really close. That's enough of the Faccia Bruta. It's the best part of waking up. Pitching sheets, piping hot in your mug, bro. So what I say, 9 games? Yeah, looks about right. I was a little bit behind today, but we did get the bitch on track. Fangraphs was slow, and Savant was slow this morning. All the baseball data was held up, but we did manage to get it on. Everything is up right now. Bases, hit run ribby stuff, pitcher projections, just all the damn things that we do. All right, first up, Steven Matz on the bump for the flat fucking fish of Florida. He's minus 115. Slight favorite on the road against Trey Gibson and the Orioles down in Bmore. How did I forget to mention? Yesterday, we did the little chim chim chiroo 5-0 on the straight plays. Junior Caminero sold us out and hit run ribby. But, I actually think, quick note, I think I'm going to lower the risk on those. It's not really in line with the rest of the plays to be betting half a unit at minus 130 and then betting a half a unit plus 170. So I think I'm going to either take those down to a third or a quarter of a unit because I think I want more of them. Anyway, Matz has been okay doing the old man thing, right? He's going to be, I don't know, what is the word? Moxie, right? Show moxie. I'm not really buying it. All the indicators are shitty. The disciplinary stuff is shitty. And he's been pretty lucky also, right? 225 BABIP, nearly 80% left on base. That's a pretty big help. I mean, he doesn't strike anybody out. He doesn't get the called stuff over. The ball is not even down. And he's getting barreled. So Matz may end up catching a finger in the coolie today, but maybe not. Orioles offense v lefties, you see it up on the board last 30 days, over 300 plate appearances, batting 208 with a 569 OPS. Way too many Ks, and they're too passive, too many balls in the ground. I don't know. Movable force, stoppable object. I always think the wheels are going to fall off for Matz. However, that hasn't got me anywhere this year. Gibson has been really rough, but we're talking about, I think it's a rookie. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't pitch it all last year. You can miss on those September innings. So this year it's been brutal, but again, it's a debut. When 4 2/3 gave up 3, they throttled the usage. He only went 2, gave up 1. And I think that's my major issue here. He went from 87 pitches all the way down to 30. That was back on the 8th. Let me check the minor league stuff. That was it also. He only went 3 innings 7 days ago. So I'm a little bit worried about the workload for Gibson not boding well on the Orioles side, unless you're kind of thinking that there might be runs, in which case I think this one probably feels like an over. Total already beat us there, set at 5 and 9. If you could get the 8.5, that's probably the play that I like the most. After that, man, I don't know. Do you trust anybody here? Maybe I like the Rays at 5, right? We think we're going to get the innings from Matz. I mean, maybe I even trust the Rays bullpen more than I like the Orioles. Not crazy about either one of those groups, to be frank. I'm looking at the F5 now. Funny, strange. Okay, my bookie has it off the board. They only have the total up, but the line stuff is down. It's listed as undecided. So maybe we're not going to get Gibson. Let's pump the brakes on it. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Right now, I got Tampa F5, but you can't bet it if it's not listed. So I think we'll have to come back to that one later on. Jose Soriano on the bump for the Angels. Plus 108 dogs on the road down in Detroit Rock City to face Casey Mize down in 8 Mile and a Tigres minus 130 at the crib. Did the Detroit game keep us from hitting the monster yesterday? I think it did, right? Did Arizona handle their business? Arizona handled their business. Yankees handled the business. Oh, that fucking sucks, man. Oh, San Diego lost, actually. So, no, it was the Tigers bullpen freaking sold us out, and that was a massive freaking heartbreak yesterday. Totally sucked. They were up multiple runs, didn't get it done. Quick shot into the comment section. Appreciate you all. Yo, good morning, Steve. What's going on, man? Don Eduardo says, yellow. I don't, okay. Oh, like yellow. Oh, I'm an idiot. Like yellow. Jeff L., what's going on? Underwater Trades, my guy. Good to see you. Josh Witt, what's up? You damn thief. What's good, crew? CKM. Pod DJing. Adon is up in here. Trent, CKM. Appreciate you all, man. Really do. Good to see everybody on this fine Wednesday morning. So I think I'm going to go back to the well with Detroit. I know it was such a fucking kick in the ass, especially when the plays are at least somewhat predicated on the bullpens. I thought we had the edge in the bullpen. That ended up not being the case. Everybody knows bullpens are extremely hard to handicap. Soriano's been very good, right? He's having an excellent season. The control has been an issue. And I think, I don't know, 247 BABIP, single-digit homer fly, 83 left on base. I generally say lucky. However, just to be fair, it's a lot of weak hit ground balls, and your BABIP is going to be low when you're doing that. He's also been great on the road. So maybe I'm starting to talk myself out of this. And I wonder if this is a 4.5 F5. It's not, it's a 4. Because now that's the play I was immediately thinking about. Because Mize has been fantastic as well. 247 ERA with a sub-1 whip. All the indicators are backing it up. 19 KBB plus 12 swing and strike. Doing a lot of the stuff that we like. He does work up in the zone. He's pretty good at it, though. Because the command and control is good on the Mize side. He's only given up, for a 50% fly ball, only 2 home runs in nearly 44 innings. And I think he's been excellent at home also. Just fantastic at the crib. Man, maybe I need to even kind of pivot here. Got to give the Angels the edge on offense. We know the Tigers' offense has been despicable. Kind of came to fruition again. They're talking about maybe returning Kerry Carpenter. Not that he'd been good, but this offense really feels like they could use a lefty stick to beat up on righty fastballs. L7, huge disparity. I don't really jump on L7. But Angels have triple the home runs, 200 points of OPS. And, 50 shots of WRC+. plus. You still have to depend on the bullpen. So this one is now kind of feeling a little hairy. I could be tempted if the price on the Angels F5 is in check. But I'm not seeing that either. Shit, I may have to... I've been using my bookie because it's my favorite board. They have run line, money line, total on the same page, and everyone on one page, which is very hard to find. But they will drop games. But if a game is not listed, it won't be up. Where Odds Trader, I'm not sure how accurate the fucking thing is. Whatever, they don't pay me. I give a shit less. I've got minus 110 for the Angels F5. I don't know. I'm kind of split here. I might even be under the 4. This came up earlier today also, something I wanted to mention again. I think it was Jordan who was tailing one of the show picks yesterday. We were on the Milwaukee F5 under. Fucking thing is 1-0 going bottom 5, and the guy lost, man. Sorry, bro. However, right, but, and we've been talking about this. As stubborn as I can be, I am starting at least to come off my position on those F5 under, full game over. I'm coming off that. Because now that's the third straight F5 under we've had busted. That was an easy cash to the under on the full game. So I'm not saying that we're off F5 unders. I want to be a little more careful with the calculus and the bullpens. That game yesterday with Milwaukee would have checked out for a full game under. We would have wanted to be on that. Now, granted, we did hit the reversal because we got the F5 under at Atlanta, and that one spun out of control. So each one is going to be a case-by-case basis, but I want to be very clear. I'm starting to put a little more thought into that. I was, for a while, F5 under. Now I want to see if it's an 8. This game, LA Detroit, is a 7.5. I still think that's where I'm at, is the under. But in this case, because the bullpens are shit, right? And the F5 is 4 with a 7.5 game total. Sorry to put all this stuff out there, but it's really a big part of the execution here, right? To understand the kind of balance in the numbers. And incidentally, right, I just made a case for status betting, boomer betting, board betting, right? People that bet prices, right? That's an example of that. How we mentioned the 4.5, 3.5 full game totals. So a 1-run disparity on the baseline expectations for full game scoring, where the money line is only reflected at a minus 130 or better. That's a signal. This would also be a signal, right? To compare the full game and F5 stuff. So sorry to go too much of a tirade. But when we can get into those execution things that I really think kind of resonate with people, those are the tangents I'm willing to take. Jameson Tyon shot at Jameson on the bump for the Baby Bears, leaving Wrigley, nice part of town in Chicago, heading down to the Steel City to face my boy Bubba Chandler in the PGH. Yar and the fucking buckos. God damn it. Chandler sucks, man. Damn. You know, I'm having a very good fantasy season, especially a lot of the best ball season-long calls. But shit, had I made the Braxton Ashcraft over Bubba call, we'd be talking about cashing those checks a little bit early. So let's get into it. I think I've got scoring or nothing. I'm way over the totals on this one. Looks like we're still getting 4.5, 8.5 perspective. However, that's not going to last those totals. The over are at minus 120. Oh my God, here we go, another one. We're already talking about board reading and trying to identify strong spots. The quickest lesson on reading the tape, right? Understanding price machinations to, again, kind of indicate strong execution spots. So totals are interesting. They're very hard. That's why they're at minus 110. What do you notice? The book is not going to move the baseline to minus 140. They're going to move the line itself first. So think of minus 110 as the baseline, which it is. 10 cents either direction. That's your buffer. It's a buffer, you know what I mean? Yeah, the family's got a lot of buffers. When you get to plus 100 or minus 120 respectively, right? 10 cent buffer off the baseline is when your expectation of the actual line move begins. So in these cases, you really want to be first because that line's about to move, right? You're reading the tape. The price movement is an indication of line movement. Plus, we're getting signals on the model to the over. I think you want to press on this one sooner rather than later. This one is going to close at a different total. I mean, this is just something we've seen play out only 1.21 jillion times. quick look at the bullpens. Again, we were mentioning this stuff. They've both been okay. I still don't think it matters. Neither one of them have been so good that I'm running scared. And we do want exposure to the Ghost Runner if it's tied. Right, the model has us close. The line has us close. Another kind of piece of information. So let's go Cubs and Pitt. FGO 8.5. That one came with a little lesson for that ass. But again, it's going to cost us minus. It looks like minus 118 we could find. Next up, Bryce the Elder from the Shire on the bump in the Dirty Dirty. Leaving Atlanta, heading up to Yawkey to face Connolly early and the Red Laundry over at Fenway. Minus 120 for the Bravos, minus 101 for the home team. Was hoping to get a 4.5 on this one like yesterday. Oh, okay, same case. And I guess I don't know if I owe you an apology. I am very transparent to the point that I actually changed our price, recorded price, worse than the one that I got because I triggered the MyBookie change. So, again, you got to understand it can be very hard delivering picks and while I'm trying to play myself. MyBookie was the last place that had the 4.5 on the Braves. I couldn't even find it on DK at that price. So I bet it. It immediately on the reload changed. So it wouldn't have been fairer. So I actually, like I said, I changed my recorded price to reflect the price that you get. Again, I'm just always trying to be honest. I'll take the second worst price on the board. I know right. If you notice, you follow my stuff, I never do that to you. I can't find this. I put the consensus line. We're trying to beat the board. I'm trying to help regular people. If you're a fucking degenerate, then yes, get the earliest line, get the best price. You're right, you beat my record. That's fine. But just understand where I'm coming from. You know, the picks come out later in the afternoon. A lot of times we're behind the 8 ball. That oftentimes keeps me off these unders because you fucking scoundrels are always moving the damn line. So just a bit of transparency from me. Okay, so Elder has been like downright phenomenal. We went under the hood. There was a pitch mix change. He's been great. He's great. You know, kind of doing it old-fashioned. Right? Not walking people. No free passes. You get enough strikeouts, right? 22 Ks average is fine. With lots of ground balls, no home runs. 5 home runs in nearly 69 innings. Hitters have just had a wicked hard time getting anything on him. Though I guess there's been even the righty batting average is all BABIP-driven. He's been ridiculously good on the road. I mean, the only case against Elder is a purely regression-based one. Early, who I really like, we haven't seen that thrust back to the pitcher that we got at the end of last year. I'm not loving it. He's missing. He's getting barreled. He's not necessarily winning in the zone the way that we'd like to see. He's only been okay at home, though he has cleaned up his act the last 30 days, early giving us a little bit of encouragement that maybe he could get back there. I mean, he was so great, like just A1 last year that I really hope that we could get back to that. Now, again, he's starting to creep back. We got the beautiful start at the Rays. He went 7 scoreless, walked 1, struck out 8. 5 gives up 2 at these Braves, walks none, strike out 6. At KC, goes 6 1/3, gives up 3, but it was 2 dongs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. So it's been better, but it hasn't been great. So I'm not seeing a lot of scoring here, but the book kind of beat us to it with the line. Don't think I'm going to have as much action today as I did yesterday. Braves versus lefties has been okay, but they are swinging, missing, and chasing. So if you're getting the best version of Early, he should handle the Braves. Then Boston offense has been hard to back all season long. Last 2 weeks versus righties, about 350 PAs. They've hit for average and some slug, but it really looks fugazi underneath because the BABIP is through the roof. They're striking out, not taking passes, and they're chasing, not hitting the ball hard. 292 ex-WOBA is like an order of magnitude worse than the team has played. I know people are looking for, again, encouraging signs for Boston. This is where WRC Plus, I flipped over to the L7. It can be a bit misleading because, again, it's based on production. it doesn't always speak to underpinning stuff. I prefer ex-WOBA as a description over WRC. Just saying. So Algo's got the under again, tempting us again, Though, and this is a little bit interesting because it doesn't happen often. You're going to see me change it in real time. That the line actually bumped up to 8.5. I know it exploded yesterday, but the bullpens are both really good. And I think you can get distance from both guys. If they're going to tempt me with that extra half a run on the board that I'm seeing right now, you 8.5 minus 115, I think that's my play. I think runs are a premium again. I think that one yesterday just kind of spun off the rails a little bit. And everyone gets back on track. Speaking of back on track, they call that a segue in the biz. Hey, Abbott on the bump for the Redlegs, minus 101 on the road against Tobias Myers and the Mets. Let me check and see if the Mets have confirmed Myers yet. I couldn't get a word on that. Okay, now it looks like the Mets are going to open with Uwasker Brasvan, but that's only an inning, so I would leave the Myers stuff up as it is. Not sure why you'd open righty for righty. Maybe Myers is not on the board, so I don't want to weigh him too deeply into the handicap here. I was looking at the Abbott stuff earlier on, but it's really gross from a season-long kind of total here, right? Hard to deny that. 146 whip through nearly 57 innings. The Sierra north of 5, Claude Botts north of 5. And again, the four-seamer that he throws entirely too much is an objectively bad pitch at low velo with a 5% KBB, 38 ball. Hard to back this, however, right? But. And we've seen this from Abbott before. He's not going to ever be the really big strikeout guy. And this isn't to make excuses for him. But the problem for him, right, when the command and the control is really poor, and he's missing, he can't beat you in zone from behind. So that's when he gets cracked. But as of late, you got to be careful because he's really turned it on. Last 5 starts from Abbott, 28 innings, he's given up just 4 runs. That's a 1.29 ERA or whatever. And a 1.14 whip, sub 1 homer. Again, the K's are not going to be great. But he has kind of shoved. I mean, he got the Rockies 6-2, Cubs 5 2/3 scoreless, Houston 6 scoreless, at Cleveland 5 gave up 1, at Philly 5-1 gave up 1. So Abbott kind of getting back on track to the, boring, cerebral inning eater. The reason I mention that is I think we're at a little bit of a misprice here. Mets going bullpen with the weak split versus righties. Reds offense is actually starting to hit a little bit right now. Last 7, 203 plate appearances from the Reds, 265 BA. Now they have struck out, but they've limited the chases. You're getting line drives and lots of hard hit balls. I just think at the very least right now, Reds offense is a wash with the Mets, and I think we have the pitching edge. Bullpen would definitely go to the Mets. So if I like Abbott, it's probably F5. You're getting Cincinnati minus 105. And yeah, I think the public might be a little bit slow on the adjustment for Abbott, who, again, in a bullpen game, I think we've got the edge. Next up, kind of pre-lip on the bump for the Twinks. They're on the road as plus 104 dogs. In Chicago, wrong side of the tracks to face David Sandlin is going to debut today. I had Davis Martin at first. He got bumped back. I guess they're going with Sandlin. What I'm imagining would be regular rest. Let's take a quick look at Sandlin. 25-year-old righty, big boy, 6'4". Now, the surface stuff it's mixed, right? He's only given up a single earned run in 6 starts. And that was good, right? That is good. However, he only went 4 innings. 4 of the 6 starts were only 2 innings. He hasn't faced more than 18 batters in a game. So I think distance is going to come into question for anybody that sees the rookie call-up with the sub-1 ERA, 35% K, but he's walking 15% of batters. He's had massive control issues in the past, and that's always a major worry for me with the call-up. I kind of like Prelip. I think Prelip is good, and I think he's a good example of how, even at this point in the season, one like massive anal prolapsing can still just destroy your season-long stats, right? Because Prelip didn't come up till the end of April. He debuted on my birthday, actually. Innings and runs: 4-2, 5-2, 5-2, 5-1, 6-1. He was humming. He went out, gave up 5 through 4, couple walks. Boston made him look bad, and I think the public is hitting the eject button. And I think these are the spots that we want to get back on board. Let's take a look under the hood for Prelip. Hold on, all these dead cells at the bottom are killing me. Okay, let's take a quick look at Prelip under the hood. The 4.03 ERA is a bit misleading for the 117 whip, and all the indicators are at below 4, right? 3.9 and below. The walk rate is a bit concerning. Again, that popped in the last start. 37.5 ball is really not bad. He's getting ahead, and the luck stuff is just kind of out of control. Right, 59% left on base. Like, that's not going to hang, man. That's not going to hang. He suppressed hard contact mostly. Again, I think the barrels were in the last game. So I have no problem getting back to Prelip in this one. I was surprised. Let me just double check. Maybe I forgot to change the price and I'm just wrong here. No. Nope. Live line plus 105, minus 130. That's more, these things are all kind of fluid. I can update it, but that's what it is. The Twins bullpen is ass. Luckily, they came through for us yesterday. I was not ready to handle another late inning multi-run blown lead. Joe Ryan was shoving. They brought him out for the 8th. I think he gave up a walk and a fucking ding-dong, and I was like, oh, fuck me. Come on. And when you get that feeling you're going to lose, I really was certain we were going to fucking lose. We didn't. We pulled it out. But, I don't know. Did it feel lucky? You had the right call, but you could still be lucky, I guess. So I think I'm going to go with the Twinks F5. Live line minus 105. This one also not listed. However, I did see the confirmation online. I think the lack of listing is the move from Martin to this fucking guy, Sandlin or whatever. So give me Twins F5. That the offense were probably giving up a little bit on O, but with Buxton back, I'm not like terrified. And the White Sox are they're okay. The White Sox offense is okay. I mean, I guess they've hit lefties, but they swing and miss and lose in zone, and they're on the ground too much. I think that's where Prelip might have the edge, but we'll see. Again, they've taken walks, and if he's wild, there's a good chance they take advantage of that. But I think that's the pathway out is, Prelip just kind of getting back to norm, and Sandlin, struggling. Hashtag fucking MLB is hard, man. Hard to expect a lot from kids in the debut. Next up, my boy Garrett Cole on the bump for the Yankees, leaving the boogie down there on the road in Missouri to face Noah Cameron and the Royals with cheese. I mean, of course, what an asshole. I had the Yankees in the fucking money line parlay instead of that run line that I was like, I don't like paying run lines, but this is a fucking smash play. Yankees were 5-0 in the first. Never look back. We had them as a high scoring team. I didn't bet it. We never look back. They were, Yankees right now are starting to hum. And when they get the eyeball for left-hand pitching and the offense is, really kind of getting up off the mat after some recent struggles, oh, yes, get the fuck out of the way of the Yankees. Don't get cute right now. This is not the time. There's plenty of opportunities to bet on underdogs. However, why are the Yankees only this is happening again. This is fucking deja vu. For some reason, after like 2 decades of a Yankee tax, including several seasons when they fucking blow, this team is awesome. And this is from me. I'm the biggest Yankee hater as a fan. Yo, I have just endless content shitting on the Yankees. How poorly they're built, how poorly they're run, how poorly just everything managed, the approach, lack of depth, lack of arsenal, optimization, just you name it. I do not glaze the Yankees. But, like, this team is good. I can't, like, are we making the freaking argument the Yankees are not good? At 33 wins already. Somehow still behind the damn Rays. And, the Royals, who, I kind of like the Royals. But Noah Cameron, who was getting called out by the fantasy community for, shitty peripherals with poor velo, none of those things have changed. He's gotten yoked. Granted, he's been a bit unlucky, but when you're going to get hit like this, bad luck going to find you. He hasn't been great at home. He hasn't been great last 30. Yankees just crushing lefties. Royals on the fucking struggle bus versus righties. I think the Yankees also have the bullpen edge. Royals' bullpen of late has been atrocious. So not really getting it. I don't generally pay minus 155, but I think it's a value, right? A price can't bite, like, definitionally, or from our perspective, I guess at least, definitionally can't be a non-value because it depends on the work. Now, maybe the run line is pushing it a little bit, meaning like a little greedy. My problem with the run line, and this is something I talk about all the time, right? It's always based on the price. The last couple of days, the run lines we've been identifying as ones that were worth determinations were 100 cents and 90 cents. This is like 55 cents for the run. So remember, this is not an offer. This is a payment. Minus 55 live line, plus 105 for the run line. 60 cents, that ain't good enough, man. So I think you either, you're playing it straight, or I think you're taking on a minus EV pick. And generally I'd be running to the plus money over the minus 155. And I know we're on the road with the 9th frame, so there's definitely a case for it. But just by the numbers, it feels a little bit greedy. Next up, Mikey Burrows in the bump for the Stros. They're on the road in Texas against Jake the Snake DeGrom and the Rangers. Did DeGrom get touched in his last start? I think he did because we bet on him. I'm always buying the dip on these guys. He's been so great. No one is going to be awesome 30 starts in a row. And for me, the best time to get on it, was right now, man. It's actually been much rougher than I thought. Last 4 starts for DeGrom. 6 1/3 at the Yanks, gives up 6. Then he went, it was funny because we were on that one. Then he went, the next one, we were on the follow-up. Chicago, 7 shutout, walks none, strikes out 10. You're like, hell yeah. Then at Houston, 6 gives up 4. It was 4 solo shots, highly unusual. Then at LA goes 3, gives up 6. So, man, he bottomed, spiked, double bottom. I'm back on the rise here, though. Curious to see what the last 30 stuff for DeGrom looks like. It's got to be ugly. Jacob DeGrom last 30 has a 5.40 ERA, but he has a .99 whip, 3.35 Sierra, and a 22 KBB, which is why we like underpinning statistics to just go, oh, okay. Like we're not worried about the fucking sky falling. Now, as far as Burrows go, that might be a different story. I thought he was going to be very good coming in. 5.75 ERA with a 1.53 whip. That service combo for Burrows is fucking gross. The indicators are a little better, but not much, because the disciplinary stuff is kind of shitty. He's up, he's getting pulled, he's giving up home runs, and he has no answer for lefties. That's always kind of a major concern. With guys, you got to have that answer. I know Rangers. Let's check out what my projected lineup is. I got force-fed lefties up top. Peterson, Nimmo, Osuna, and Carter, probably 4 of the first 5 or 6, depending where Berger slots. So I think Burrows is in trouble. I think, Jake does his thing. Astros offense has been crappy, and the Rangers are actually hitting right now, right? Last 7 for the Rangers. It's starting to cool off. We were talking about that yesterday. So not that we need them to go crazy. Astros bullpen's been a thrill a minute all year. I mean, I've got this one for a pretty clean Texas win. And I guess there's an obvious donkey pair here. Yankees plus Rangers is plus 164. And I hate giving out those recs because they're looked down upon by like the very smart quant community, but I think they both win. And I've made my case simply like betting 2 favorites. If you bet them even, you need to hit. If you place the same bet on both favorites, you need to hit them both in order to profit. There's no way around that. That's a fucking fact. So if I need to hit both of them to profit, and I have to pay out of my fucking nose to complete the bets, why wouldn't I just pair them and limit the risk? Like I could lower my risk to below the amount that I'd be down if I bet them both straight. And to me, I still need to hit them both to win. And if I miss one or both, it's still a minimized loss. So to me, that's always been the easy answer. I don't know. Again, I've gotten a ton of fucking pushback on that shit that I don't necessarily understand. Quick spin into the comments. Appreciate everybody again kind of jumping in. Yeah, Jeff, we had some sweats yesterday. Jay Bird, good to see you. Brian E., my dude. Christian Lopez, new names up in there. Took the Mariners Diamondbacks, good picks in the last game. Appreciate that. Josh Witt up in there. Sam, what's going on? Like to see all the new names up in here, man. Let's see Trevor chiming in on the last one. Rangers offense has been bad. Astros offense has been bad. Alive in Wrigley into Texas here. Rangers showed up one time, still gave up 7. Yeah, I know. We were talking about this the other day, that like when it kind of collapses, it's been like all or none. Love to see the back and forth. Again, like if I'm looking at comments and I'm not reading them, it's because I'm actually reading them. They're not for me, but I might learn something. So, it ain't man. This is Sparta! Love this shit. Press the cartoon like button right there. Find it in your heart to support good people doing good work, because there's one thing, right? There ain't no hiding, and it's how hard I fucking work for this stuff. Next up, don't waste your time on this one. Tomoyuki Sagano is on the road for the Rockies, right? They're in LA to face the Dodgers and Ohtani. I thought my eyes were fucking bleeding. The Dodgers are a minus 425 favorite. That's just about the craziest line you're going to find. My bookie won't even post the first 5. MGM also will not post the first 5. The reason being, oh gosh, I cannot present a mathematical argument for the Rockies. I can't do it. Sagano sucks. The Rockies suck. The Dodgers are hitting. Big bats are hitting. And Ohtani is pitching the best maybe he's ever pitched. That said, I am just really curious what the line might look like. Could we get plus money on a plus 1.5 F5 run line? If so, I think you have to take it on principle alone. Dead fucking serious. If you're going to offer me, and remember, F5. So this might be how about this? What's the full game run line? Is it plus money 2.5? It's minus 110 2.5, and that was kind of a part of what I was getting at. These really wonky, crazy fucking run lines, I don't generally bet because they don't bring the price to where I am tempted enough. But keep an eye out. I mean, even minus 110 for plus 2.5 is nuts. Until the Dodgers are up, 6-0 in the second. You're like, oh crap. What was I thinking? When it hits, you're like, see, it was sharp. It's just how this fucking stuff works. So don't overthink it. Let the price kind of dictate. All right, let's just do a quick board read what I say, we got 3 afternoon. Let's do that first and then work the 3 backwards. So we're going to go with Seattle, that 3-pack. So let me bring it up. Again, no stats on this. And we're going to get out of here in a minute. My throat sounds like I've been fucking gargling with fucking gravel. All right, first up, I got a bit of a misprice here. My boy Logan Gilbert on the bump for the Mariners. I know people are hating on him. The underpinning stuff is so strong, and he's been shoving on the road. I know it's a tough spot to pitch, but I think Springs is a mark in these environments. So I'm going to keep leaning into my guy Gilbert. I've got Seattle for a win at minus 130. You're missing me with minus 130 for Logan Gilbert against fucking Springs. I can't get there. I'm actually seeing minus 130 on MGM. That's the first place I look. So, you might even do much better than that. So, for me, it's pretty simple. Give me the pitching, and we've got the pen. The offense, I'll probably concede, should have to go to the Athletics. But I think it's figured into the price. Next up, Mikey Soroka on the bump for the Diamondbacks. They're pretty heavy favorites, minus 136 for Soroka. Feels a little bit heavy on the road against Trevor Old McDonald and the Giants. McDonald feels a little bit like Prelip. He was fucking awesome, and he got shellacked, and now everyone hates him. And now his season-long stuff is kind of wrecked. So let's not go too crazy. I think I'm back on it. Yo, 11 Fireworks, I appreciate you. Great show. Jay Bird said, I'm the GOAT. No, you guys are the fucking GOAT. So take it back. Man. Seriously, I mean, honestly, right? Without you, there's no me. And I really try and keep this immersive, where I'm not, as much as I'm quite literally lecturing, but not trying to talk down, right? There are teachers who come to see you eye to eye, right? And I just want everyone to know, I don't think I'm any smarter or better or anything. I just have a ton of fucking experience, and my hand is so far in the fucking dirt. You know what I mean? Obviously. So for anybody that's listening to this shit, you fucking ass, heavy money, heavy favorite that you have a triple-digit IQ. So I've got a bit of a misprice on the model. I like McDonald and the Giants outright today. I don't trust the bullpen. I'm down to F5. I wonder if anyone can tell why I'm doing this thing that I'm doing with my fucking voice. And it's because this is another one of those spots, right, where I like the price on the pitcher, and I'm like, I'm hairy on the offense because I don't think we have the edge. Now, that total I just checked actually popped to 4. If this was 4.5, you could bet your ass I'd be going under. I think I'm going to stick with my guns. I like McDonald. I like Soroka too. But I think the misplace here, the Giants' offense has been hitting. And, no one is just ready to admit it at all, right? No one is ready. Hold on. Check this out. The San Francisco Giants have the second highest WRC plus in the last 7 days. They're scoring runs. They're hitting fucking bombs and shit. They have stars. They just had to get it going. Adames and Chapman and Devers, these are not bad hitters. You could miss me with that shit. They're good hitters. So I think they're all kind of hitting it, clicking at once. And I'm going to go Gigantes with that F5. I like that play. Though, okay, it's plus 115 for the record. I should have mentioned this before. For whatever reason, I can't prove it, and I'm not going to fucking freak out over it anymore. I'm the worst day better on earth. I don't know why I can't win day bets. We do it to death. The boomers have said, it's a getaway day, and there's a reason. It's weird. The scheduling and shit is weird, and it's off. Guys are thinking about traveling, and you know what? I've been wrong for so long and unable to prove why for so long that I almost fucking believe that. But I don't know if it's the case. So feel free to completely fade me during the day. Next up, last but not least in the afternoon set, the deep afternoon set, Christopher Dirty Sanchez on the bump against Walker Buehler and the Padres, minus 163 for the Phillies with good reason. I think they should crush. I know the offense has been a bit sketchy. They started to hit a little bit yesterday. And again, that's another case of a bunch of stars that could wake up together and carry a unit. Once you're seeing Harper and Schwarber start to kick the crap out of the ball, I'd be careful with those year-to-date stats. You know what I mean? So give me Philly with the kill shot. If I was getting cute, and worried about being over leveraged during the day, the 3-pack of straight wins, Mariners, Giants, and Phillies plus 520, I think I like that. Like if I was pairing, just go for it. Giants go to win. You know what I mean? We're getting too cute with the F5 sometimes. McDonald could be losing 1-zip after 5, and we'd think that we were in a good spot. So F5s have a place, and I'm not running away from them. But I'm seeing a little bit more of the flaw in them. And again, it's just what my guy Kyle has been saying. You're modeling for 9, let it mature. And especially that 6th inning, the inning where pitchers get pulled, there's a reason why. And again, I know Jeff already has his fucking eyebrows up. We've gone through this, him and I, 1,000 fucking times. Right. Tied through 5, and in the 6th inning, we get the run. Or however that could work. We were on the over, we didn't get it, and the 6th inning it happens, because that's when the breaking point happens. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more open to that. So I got Seattle, San Fran, and the Phils on the afternoon. Jammy, let's do a quick early shot and get the freak out of here. Yuri Perez on the bump as a 135 dog against Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays minus 162. I don't know. You can get me every way. You really can. You can get me every way. My gut is check the price on the F5 run line for Miami. It's minus 110, where we could cash on the tie. Because Gausman's been good, but so has Yuri. The Blue Jays, they're hard to ask from offense for. And Miami's been doing enough on O. I think Miami could win this one, but I wouldn't be shocked because I really like Gausman this year. I think I trust Toronto's bullpen maybe more than the Marlins also. And I think that's where the model is at. We've got Toronto ahead, but it's not enough. Certainly not for the price. It's certainly not for the price. So that's when I look to start to pivot. And the difference is probably in the run line. Now, maybe if I'm pairing, I'm getting the full game run line out there, which I also like. Right? You get all the 1-run outcomes and you get all the wins. So I think that'd be it. If I was kind of if I'm parlaying early, it's Miami full game run line, or I'm leaving it alone because I'm just not crazy about it. I think Toronto wins by 1, and that's the issue. So I'm going to try and kind of pivot against that. Next up, Miles Michaelis and the Nats on the road. Their fucking offense is crazy good. I'm going back to the well again. Gavin Williams and the Cards. I can't believe it. Michaelis sucks so bad. Anytime he gets away with it, I'm just in shock. Model giving me the nudge to play for the Cleveland run line. I think that's the play. I think you got to suck it up because you're getting plus money. I guess if you're pairing, you could just go with, if we're juicing stuff, you're taking the Marlins run line. You're pairing it with the Guardians to win. I just think they're the better team today. Better starter, better bullpen. We don't have the better offense, but eventually the Nats are going to fucking disappoint in the batter's box. I can't believe it. And we were the first ones on them cashing these fucking totals. Then when I was like, I don't know, they're not hitting righties. I don't know if it's believable. They started hitting righties. I'm like, this is a really tough spot. It's a great pitcher. Hasn't mattered. Wheels off for the Nats offense. So if you're like, fuck you, John, I'm tired of losing against the Nats. I want to bet the over in a game that they're playing with a 7.5. You know what? The Guardians might score 8 on their own. So fuck it, man. Maybe the answer is 7.5, actually, now that I think about it. Right? That's the difference between donkey thinking is defaulting to a favorite run line, where sharp thinking is just going over the lowest bar. So as I think through this, I would change that one to the 7.5. Maybe Nats get to Gavin for a little bit, and then Cleveland, we need them to carry the rest of the load. Next up, probably the same argument. Dustin May on the Cardinals on the road against Chad Patrick and the Brewers. I tend to like Chad Patrick. Even at minus 155, this might be a little bit light, but it feels expensive for the Brewers. I do not like this early set at all. Gone through my head if I had to feed it though. Give me the 3-legger to save the earth. Yeah, it's that Marlins run line. I guess it's over the 7.5 and the Brewers to win. That one is plus 666. Ooh, I'm the leprechaun. And then I guess if we mix it with the afternoon ones, we got Mariners, Giants and Phillies. And that bad bitch is plus 28.94. Let's freaking go, right? I'm like, yo, let me sign into this fucking bitch. Because you know me, I'll freaking forget to play this shit. I'm the worst afternoon guy. I forget all the time. I like to get $1 on these fucking things just so I can track them somewhat. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. You right? Enough is enough? Abasta, abasta. All right, so everybody in the comments, appreciate you so much. You know, I go speechless, man. CKM says, TV Jones is the GOAT. Damn right, TV Jones is part of that Kyle Kerm's Sauce Network crew. So, you know, Kyle and Toasty and Sauce and TV, you want to be following all these guys. They really are kind of one of us. You know, people that are out there working hard every day. They take the work seriously, but not themselves too seriously. They look to teach without talking down to people. And again, they're very transparent. You know, I think Jones, I forgot, I don't want to point anybody out, but I know they will talk about losing Toasty in particular. Toast is too hard on himself. But that's a good way to be. Trevor says, how do you not play the Nats at this price? I would say, I think playing the 7.5, because again, it's 7.5, is also a play on the Nats. You tell me how many runs you need to win. It's got to be 2 or 3, right? I mean, are you expecting Michaelis to throw a fucking shutout? Probably not. So, agree, like, we're not really disagreeing, but just kind of. All right, that'll do it. Let's get the hell out of here, man. Andre, good to see you. Love to see kind of new names every day. And Trevor says transparency is key. Yeah, word to Big Bird. I mean, and that's always my thing. It's so funny. I've had people make fun of me talking about the combine. You don't even bet in real money. I'm like, I'm showing I have to fucking be profitable before I go live, you fucking scumbag. You're out there losing people fucking live cash. Plus, you could feel free to tail me with live money. I'm just showing you how the pros do it. That's bottom line, man. And now, you know, we've gone live, and I think we're up 7% ROI since then. And again, that could change today. But we wanted to look how much we learned about the process and how the season is playing out, the trend scoring with runs and whatever. There's never a need in baseball, which is ridiculously long. And especially, like, people stop paying attention the deeper we get, and it gets harder to follow. When we get better, because we never stop following with both the computer program going, as people are into fucking football, again, we've always done better in the second half. And I'm not making excuses because we're doing good now. But the point is, it's how you finish, not how you start. And if you're like myself and have gotten off the bad starts that have fucked up the entire run, then you learn how to fucking throttle that. That's it. Anyway, let's get out of here, yo. Thanks for picking up what I'm putting down here at Corked Stats. Please press the like button. If you can't catch the live stream, there is a abbreviated podcast version of the show on all your majors. Check it out. And as long as people keep supporting the show, thank you so much. I can keep all this shit for fucking free. You know, I'm going to keep as much stuff forward-facing for the public as possible, as long as enough of you nice men and women, not being cheap motherfuckers, you know, find it in your heart. $2 a week. And if you sign up for the entire year, you get the last month for free. That's $88. So it's like $1.65 a week. And you're getting football stuff pouring out your nose, plus all the writing when the baseball comes around, ranks and best balls for both sports. Football is up and rocking and rolling. And if there's anything else you can think of that I'm missing, I'll fucking deliver it. Because, again, the door's got to swing both ways. It's my goal to deliver value. I think it's really important. But it also has to hit a point where if you're giving away too much, people are finding value in your free work and they're not going to pay. So, you know, we're trying to find that symbiosis, and right now it's working. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Enjoy the games, enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, winning feels a lot less like luck. Yo, peace.